the door, and I'm home for the weekend. I thought we were going to be in New York seeing Sting and Shaggy and going to Philadelphia, but my wife's a little under the weather, and we're trying to get her better so she can attend Game 5 and Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, Dennis. The Stanley Cup Finals. How about that?
Can you believe it? Can you believe it?
CAPS. Caps.
I feel like Al Michaels. Do you believe in miracles?
Oh man! Well,
oh my gosh!
So I gotta. Can I tell you a fun story? So everything got detoured about I was supposed to be in New York, like I said. By the way, I struck out on Springsteen tickets again, and Hamilton, by the way, and the Book of Mormon. So even if I was in New York, I wasn't doing any of that. But so by the way, we'll watch Sting and Shaggy on Good Morning America tomorrow. This is my free plug for ABC because we were headed to that show. But so either way, I get to the airport today. And I'm running like crazy. I brought my wife some Cuban food home. I was barely getting my flight. I backed everything up. I was supposed to fly to New York. I'm flying home. So I get into the airport, and I got some Chinese food that I picked up in the food court. And I go to sit down, and it's the flight to Baltimore. So there's like two little Caps fans over in the corner, and a lot of kids, a lot of Mickey Mouse ears because I flew out of Orlando. And there's a girl sitting with a shirt that said back-to-back cups. And she's all decked out in Pittsburgh, head to toe. And I thought to myself, would today be a day to sit somewhere where when she looks up, she sees me looking like this? And so I sat there and I ate my Chinese food very, very quietly. And finally, she looked up and caught my eye. And she gave me the Pittsburgh glare. You know that glare? Remember that glare they would give you when we beat them and won the Super Bowl?
Oh, yeah.
Like for that whole year after.
Too.
It's like when you see them on the boardwalk in Ocean City, you look the other way after they win. But when you win, it's like the Eagles fans. We're all avoiding them now, right? Nobody wants to see an Eagles fan. So at least for the morning. So she winds up sitting behind me on the plane, and I get up in the plane, and the guy sitting next to her recognizes me. And he's like, "Hey, Nasty, look what I got here. I got a Penguin fan." And I said, "You know what? Let me be humble here for a moment, okay? We haven't won anything. I mean, you know what I mean? Let's call this what it is. I mean, this is a massive disappointment if my wife is flying out there for Game 5 to watch Nate Schmidt skate the Stanley Cup around Las Vegas where they don't know a puck from a truck, right? So I'm trying to, this is like beating New England, like, when we did. It's not over until you finish the job. You got to finish it. Do your job and finish it. And as I talked to Ed Frankovic about late into the night last night, I loved everything about their celebration because there really wasn't much of a celebration. I walked out of the arena with a handful of the kids on the team. They all had their championship hats on. They were not carrying beers and smelling of champagne. They looked like they realize what they've done, but they also realize what they haven't done. And for that, I am confident that this is, we'll see a Game 6 and maybe a Game 7 in this one. This is going to be a hell of a series, and there's going to be a lot of rest in between these games. So you're going to have nice 3-day chunk to break down Game 4, then Game 5, then Game 6. And it is my sincere hope, and I've noticed this because you are the first friend, literally, that I've converted to some degree. How many pictures do I have with me and friends at Caps games this year? I'll give you a second to answer that question, Dennis.
Yeah.
How many do I have? You know how many I have? One.
I'm sure you. I would think you'd have more than that.
I have you. You're the only guy I know that has really sort of said, I might become a hockey fan. Right now. I think I started to see a little thing change last night and into the morning. People on my Facebook and whatever who are not hockey people who are giving it a chance that there are gonna be a lot of people. Is Margot in? Is Krista? I mean, in your family, who is going to sit and watch the Stanley Cup Finals with you?
The whole, even our dog is in. The whole house is in. Even Lucy, the wonder dog, is in. That's how much we love the Capitals right now.
All right, well, when's the last time Margot loved the Capitals before now? When's the last time you loved the Capitals before now?
Like the 10th of never.
Okay, so I would say, much like I want a car that's going to drive me around, and one day you're telling me that'll happen. That's my want. My want here for all of you is to at least explore hockey, right? Get to know hockey, go on a few dates with hockey next week, and you let me know that you want to go back and watch LeBron James dribble on the off nights because you're going to have that opportunity because they don't play on the same nights. So you're going to get a chance to compare what Stanley Cup Finals fever feels like and what the energy with the crowd and on the ice and the players and the want and the grit and all of that and the action and the true excitement of hockey. A lot of people are going to get turned on to that for the very first time here, in the coming days. And for that, I am very, very grateful, Dennis. That's all I can say. This is an open door for Margot and Christos and you to become a hockey family and to enjoy hockey the rest of your life the way I've enjoyed it most of mine. And I've enjoyed it even though my team's never won and they still haven't won. So I'm waiting patiently.
Yeah, it's been a great conversion, Nestor. Look, I just appreciate everything. And it's when you look at, especially with the state of the NFL and even with their latest shenanigans, it's easy to fall in love with hockey, right down to the respectful handshakes post-game by the players, which I really, really enjoy as a sports fan.
I got run over in the post-game scrum by Coburn's wife and kid on the way. We were literally, the media was in a holding tank in front of the Tampa family room. So you know what I mean? Like when you get eliminated in Game 7 at home in that sort of fashion, your husband literally gets beaten up all over the ice. I felt bad for those. I always feel bad for the losing team. I really felt bad for? I was with all the Seahawks family underneath the dome when the mistake happened. When the interception happened, instead of giving the ball and handing the ball off to the Skittles guy, they threw the pick. I saw the horror on the family's faces there. All of them. All decked out in their puke green when they lost. I mean, there's a human angle to that. There was also a human angle to seeing Ted Leonsis and Zach Leonsis walk by last night and give me a hug on the way out. There was a real human angle to Barry Trotz getting up from the podium and getting an embrace and a real hug from him and taking a selfie and putting it up and running into Ole Kolzig. And, I was there the day Ole Kolzig reported to duty for the first day as a Cap. And it took me till today to realize that Tom Ebright picked me up at my house at 428 Kane Street. I know you know where that is, Dennis. It's in front of a supermarket now, but it used to be in front of Anchor Post. That's where I lived. And Tom picked me up when Byron Defoe and Ole Kolzig were drafted here by Jack Button and by David Poyle. And I saw their very first practice down at Piney Orchard. And I got on the elevator last night, and there's Ole Kolzig standing in front of me. And I have not been in a room with Ole in 20 years. And he took a look at me, and I took a look at him, and he's like, "You look the same." So,
you do.
Yeah, I had a moment with Ole Kolzig. So, Godzilla, Ole the goalie, the whole deal. So, it's all coming back to me, and it's all very, very vivid to me. And I think there's going to come a point where, you're going to be hugging the Stanley Cup. I think we're going to do this. I think the Caps are going to win the Stanley Cup. I believe they are.
Yep, I believe so, too. I mean, they've got that look about them, and they weren't overly giddy, as you mentioned last night after the victory, and I think they're poised to bring the Cup home to D.C. Look, it's hockey. I love hockey. I don't care that they're a Washington. We don't have a Baltimore team, so to me, look, none of us are, Washington fans per se, but with hockey, it's a little bit different, isn't it?
Well, we don't have a team. We haven't had a team in a quarter of a century. What year was Christos born?
1995.
Yeah, right. So the Bandits had just pretty much gone. So, there is no hockey here. They kind of are our team unless you want to adopt the Flyers or the Hershey Bears. I can't sit here and pine away for the days of the Baltimore Skipjacks, although I do have some paraphernalia around here. Maybe this is the week I break my puck out. I could I'm going to wear my jersey. I'm going to wear my Jacks jersey in Vegas. Both of them take them with me out to Vegas. Ed Frankovic and I are going. I think Ted Starkey's going to join us out there as well. So we're going to have full coverage on our Twitter, our Facebook. It's a little awkward, right, because we're going into this crazy holiday weekend where you're going to sell a lot of cars. A lot of people are going to reach for the beach and take advantage of the good weather. I'm going to try to get my wife on the men to get her healthy so we can get her out to Vegas. Nice. I'm trying to find a ticket for her. It apparently in Las Vegas is a ticket that, only could have been rivaled by Mike Tyson fights and, that era of everything, because it's the hottest ticket in the hottest town in America, and people want to come in and experience this thing. So I'm excited. I really am. There's a lot of places we could go to play for a Stanley Cup. Could have been San Jose. Could have been Minnesota, or Nashville, or wherever. Winnipeg. It really broke my heart when I had to cancel those Winnipeg flights.
I know you were looking forward to it. Then I know a lot of people aren't going to be heartbroken that we'll be able to make the trek over to Vegas and back to D.C. again.
I would have preferred. Does that make me weird that I would have preferred 4 days in Winnipeg to Vegas?
Extremely.
I've been to Vegas 100 days of my life, Dennis. I've lost and made more money out there than I've lost more money. And nobody's ever made money in Vegas, really. I
hear you, but again, you went out there a lot, and a lot of people haven't. So it's an easier series to navigate in terms of travel if you have the appetite, money, and time to take in.
Dennis, how much did I believe? Let me look on and let me see what day I booked my flight. I'm going to look right on my computer.
You thought you were going to Winnipeg?
Well, no. I booked them both.
You did?
Oh no, come on, man. I'm a safety guy.
So you get the travel.
How do you think I wind up at these events? It's not because I woke up this morning and said, "Hey, the Caps won. Let's leave Saturday." I can't afford to live a life like that. Come on now.
So you get the flight insurance, right? You pay the extra money for.
No. With Southwest Airlines, it rolls. It rolls for you.
Roll it.
Okay, so I booked a flight to Las Vegas. Let's see here on May the. Hold on, it wasn't the 5th. I want to make sure I get the right date. May the 7th, I held my flight. So how about that? So how far back was that? Is that 3 weeks ago?
Yep.
All right.
Absolutely.
So there you have it. So that's how far in advance I was on this. And I paid $109 for my flight to Las Vegas. So there you have it.
That's a peanut.
Affordable by any stretch. And you could say it's Circus for $19.
Look, I'm thrilled that we're going to watch more hockey now. That includes the Capitals.
I'm thrilled that you become a hockey fan.
How happy I am.
Well, you've been listening to the show for a long time, and you have always heard me drone on about hockey and my love of hockey. And, Trotz used to call in 2-3 times a year from Nashville when he was the coach there. And to see this whole thing come circle, with him being the coach, with them being in it, with Las Vegas being involved, with the old general manager, and the whole Fleury thing, it's storybook. It's perfect. Ovechkin feels like he's in good spirits. Holtby feels like he's in good spirits. We're going to win a Stanley Cup. We're going to win the Stanley Cup, then.
We are going to win the Stanley Cup, Nestor, and it's going to be great.
I hope so.
No doubt about it. Listen, I know you just got off the plane. I appreciate your time. Get some rest and get ready to watch some hockey, some Stanley Cup hockey featuring your Washington Capitals.
If we don't win the Stanley Cup, we're going to pretend this segment never happened, right? You're never going to refer to this again.
No. Look, I've been positive all along. I don't have that emotional baggage that your average Caps fans. This is new to me, so I've been positive since day one. When they were down 2 games to the Blue Nuggets.
You know what's amazing about this, Dennis? If you think about it, ever since you became a fan, look what happened.
That's right.
Look what happened.
I am the reason why the Caps are in the Stanley Cup.
Do something for the Orioles.
You know what? I don't think there's enough magic anywhere to turn that ship around.
Free Jim Palmer.
Oh my God! Look, thankfully he called out what it was, right?
I think Luke broke that story, actually. I think it happened in the middle of the night. No one was watching. And from what I can tell on Twitter, Luke's too humble. But I think Luke went verbatim on it. I think the internet blew up because of Luke.
Yeah.
Well, it's a story now. Now Chris Davis is very disappointed in the truth. Maybe we're really disappointed that he's batting $160. Maybe I'm really disappointed about that.
Hey. Not as disappointed as the front office and the fans are.
Dude, what the hell is wrong with this guy? He's got $130 million coming to him, and he's going to say he's disappointed.
Oh, my God.
He's only disappointed in Jim Palmer because he never saw him pitch.
Right, that's exactly right. Hey, Palmer could strike him out right now.
Oh, left-handed in his underwear.
With his eyes closed. Both feet in concrete.
What is? I don't want to be unfair to Chris Davis. What is he batting right now? It was 160-something last time I saw.
No, I don't know, and I don't care.
Chris Davis, it's 154. God, I gave him 10 points too many. All right, I'm disappointed that he's batting 154.
Yeah, we're all disappointed. How about he gives us? How about he gives the team back some money so they can sign some players that can actually play?
When I was a kid, I used to think that that would be the honorable thing to do.
Yeah. Give it back.
Give the money back. I used to think that about Glenn Davis. Give the money back. Yeah,
Give it back.
Well, now, that's not the way sports works.
No. Now, a lot of guys are thieves. They are. They
I hope the biggest thief that I see, in the coming days is Braden Holtby.
All right, man. You got it.
Have fun. See you.
Thanks a lot. Be well. There you go. Nestor J. Aparici.